Hello and thank you for watching. This is STSC back again with LEGO Transformers Ammo. When trying to come up with names for debris, I realized that all of the G1 Insecticons had names that had to do with weaponry or destruction. Bombshell, shrapnel, kickback. They all really sound like they're related to weaponry to me. So I had the thought that a expendable foot soldier could be called Ammo, and the perfect bug for that role would be an ant. Once I had that idea, I knew I had to build it. So I came up with this guy. I think he turned out a pretty cool looking ant. I think it looks great in the classic Insecticon colors here. I really love the big dish eyes and the gray legs. Of course, on a G1 Insecticon, these would actually be chromed out, which might look a little bit tacky, but I also think it would be pretty cool if they were able to be chrome, but of course, they are just basic light gray here. Taking a closer look at the legs, you'll notice that no two of them are identical. I would have preferred to have all of them look the same, but unfortunately they have to do different things in the transformation, so I ended up making them look a little bit different from each other. And coming up to the head, you can see I've used a pair of Harry Potter wands to represent his antennae. I think this looks really neat, and I kind of imagine him shooting little lasers out of here in the G1 cartoon. For size comparison, here we have a minifigure. And here we have debris. I really adore this ant mode, and I think it's probably my favorite of the three Insecticons I've built. But that's all I have to say about it, so now it's time to transform. And here we have Ammo in his robot mode, where I definitely drew inspiration from Bombshell. He's got the bug head above his robot mode head, representing a laser gun. He's got the little rounded yellow details on the sides of his chest, and of course just the color layout of the black legs with the purple torso. Though of course I brought in a little bit more gray here than on Bombshell, with his arms and feet represented in gray as they were formed from the bug legs. Honestly, when I was building this guy, I wasn't sure how I'd actually feel about all of the black being concentrated to his legs, but in the end I think it turns out pretty cool, and it definitely gives him a slight bit of variation from the other Insecticons, especially bringing in the gray arms, which definitely sets him apart from other characters. I really love how the ant head looks mounted up top. I think it fits the robot really well and doesn't just look like kibble. I also think it's really fitting for a G1 style design, as that definitely feels like something they would have done in G1. He does end up with a pair of bug legs hanging off his back, but they're out of the way of his arms and look pretty cool, so I don't mind the kibble. For articulation, Ammo's head is on a swivel, but the bug head has to be moved out of the way. And you can see here, it gets just a little bit of range. He doesn't really have a typical shoulder joint, but there is a outward hinge in this joint here, which is kind of in the middle of the bicep, which allows the arm to go forward. Then there is an elbow bend underneath that, which can go about 90 degrees, and a wrist swivel. Then at the hips, there's forward and backward movement, as well as in and out. His knees can bend a little over 90 degrees, as well as swivel. Then at the ankles, there's a swivel, a hinge, and a tilt. As an accessory, I've given Ammo a gigantic Gatling gun. It simply clips into his hand. I thought it would be funny to give this guy a gigantic gun that he has to one-hand. There's also a second handle from which he can hold it slightly lower to the ground. Overall, I'm super happy with how Ammo turned out. I think both modes look great here, and he has a pretty fun transformation. I also think he looks pretty awesome with debris, though of course there's still one Insecticon missing. So, I'll see you next time.